Good evening, everyone. Today, we'll focus on the always on availability group. Uh, Today, mostly we'll go for the theoretical part. Once the theoretical part is completed, I will try to connect the always on availability group in another laptop which I configured. But what was happening here? We configured the always on availability group in yesterday for one domain controller and another two nodes. We joined in the one particular domain as a production and we configured the always energy. But the thing is like what are the RAM and cores we are giving? That is only sufficient when we try to open any like Google or some other things. Other nodes are getting down. So here we have a like four cores with 8 GB, but still servers are struggling. If I open the Zoom, the laptop is not responding. So we'll try to open. If not open, what I can do? Maybe I will look for another laptop which is having at least 8 cores with 12 GB or something. What are the laptop yesterday I have taken? That is good. Responding very fast compared to my laptop. Like my laptop having 4 cores with 12 GB, but even though my server system is struggling for two node computers. So that is the reason I took another laptop. But that good thing is like I was able to configure, but when I try to open a Zoom mini application, the entire normal system is getting responding. But anyway, now I will give the core concept of the always and availability. Before going to the always and availability core concept, let's will go for a small discussion in our background. Why always and availability come to the picture. So now if I go to directly jump into the always and availability group theory, you will get a confusion. So we'll go for the why always an availability group comes and from at what version and what edition the always an available group is supporting. Okay, we can discuss all the things. In the interview also they will ask the difference between the high availability. Why? Because I have a one high availability, then why can't we go for another availability, right? So the interview will ask a difference between why this was implemented. Is it suitable for the my environment or not? So and they will ask, I need the database up and running, but I want to looking for the lower cost. So that scenario, how we are going to design the our environment and what are the options we have. Then the technical part and as well as some costing part we have to provide. Let management and the business has to uh, approve it. But otherwise, if you're not providing a business, first business team will provide the business requirement, then management will provide the cost, then technical team or database team will provide the uh, technical steps and configurations. So if all are in the order, that means like the customer is paying for $100, then at least our management has to get double. Why? Because we have to maintain the servers and we have to maintain the resources and we have to go for daily patches and we have to monitor and other things. So that is the reason the costing and designing part is very important. So if the customer is asking to design, I need this availability, then we can provide the pros and cons. Then management and other people decide, then we need to configure. Otherwise, once we configured and once the database went to operations, then rollback is very difficult. So that is the reason if you go for my first class, before onboarding the customer, what are the requirements we need to take it. So accordingly, in the requirement itself, we need to uh, design. Let me give small example. Uh, uh, in the my previous organization, like what was happening, we are onboarding the customer from on-prem to Azure environment. Okay, in the on-prem environment, what was happening? They have the setup configured with the always an availability, and that always an availability. What they did, they used the enterprise edition. Okay, they used the enterprise edition. They have a two node setups and they configure the always energy. Then, as per the agreement, Yeah. The business team and the sales team did not involve the database team. They promised they provide the high availability and some other things. But coming to the business and how much they're paying, it's kind of like half of the amount. If you go for the same configurations, what they're looking for, if you want to configure in the cloud environment, like the customer is paying for $50, but what are the requirement, what are the resources we are going to maintain, the cost is coming $150. Just I'm giving numbers, okay? That is kind of like a huge numbers in the case, but just I'm telling. Then what we went for the call and business and sales team. That is not possible because this is the happening. And in a way, we are going to migrate the Azure. We can give the assurance like a 99.9 SLS. But instead of that, uh, always and available good, what we need to go. So then we explained everything. Then, uh, but the customer is not ready to pay the what we are expecting. Then here, because already customer is signed. So here we did not go for like a normal or we cannot configure this one. So in the management is stuck in the middle, but as the database team, what we can did, we went for the high availability. The high availability means like we went for the standard service. Then we configured the replication, okay, for the specific table for meeting the customer need. Why? Because if you go for always in availability, we have some dependency cost involvement. So that is the reason before in designing the environment, these things we need to decide. So from the, if you have the database team or if you have the more members, or if you have the architect and lead, they will take care. If you are part of the team, then no need to bother about this all these things. Your team will take care. But end of the day, in the coming days, you may be going to lead the team, or maybe you are the only one person in the team. So that is the reason we need to understand the, if I go for this technology, uh, what are the pros and cons we have. Uh, so let's go for the one by one, as well, like one or two lines. Then we'll go for the always and availability. So last time, same discussion we went for clustering, right? Same thing like we can go for the same. Maybe let me repeat one or two lines, not more than that, but we'll go. So this is the kind of a virtual machine, and in that we have a SQL server. In that we have a databases. So we have a number of databases. So this is the virtual machine with a standalone. Standalone means we have, that is virtual machine is independent virtual machine that may be shared or dedicated. So what are the database we have? We are going to take the backup to the shared location. We are taking the backups to shared location. So these backups are uh, okay. These backups are full backup and differential backup and log backups. We know, right, we required a full backup and a differential log backup. If something goes wrong, this particular computer, what we are going to do? So this computer having corrupted, like a crashed. So that means if the VM is crashed, the instance will be no longer connect, a database won't connect. So for that, what we need to do? We need to build the new virtual machine. Then we have to this virtual machine for building from the VM backup. So here, what was happening? We have a two kinds of a backups. We have a we have a two kinds of Two kinds of backups. VM backup taken, taking, taking from infra. Okay. SQL backups are taking from the SQL backups, taking from the DBA team. Okay. So here VM take backup will take every day or maybe every 1 week. So if you take the like here the scenario, the VM got crashed, then we cannot able to connect the VM. If you're not able to, VM is up and not running, then what we can do, we cannot able to connect the our SQL server. Right? If you're not able to connect SQL server, then we cannot able to connect the databases. Then our environment enter down. So that scenario, what we have to do, we have to restore the VM backup. Okay. So if you restore the VM backup, what will happen? What are the that particular time the VM having existing? It's kind of like a photocopy and snapshot at that particular time. What are the VM having the in like resources that will comes. So here, what will happen? Think about like a we have a VM backups happening every weekly once. VM backup is a having weekly once. Some environment VM backup take daily also, but if you take daily, that cost will be more for the storage location. And if you ask for the DB team, we can tell we should not take VM backup daily. Why? Because every day taking we are full backup or differential or log backup that will provide the our SLAs to meet RPO and RTO. So here the VM got crashed. Then what we did, our infra team will restore the our infra team. Our infra team will restore the VM to the same network with the same name or different name. So once the VM is restored from the VM backup, we'll get the same VM name and we'll get the same SQL server and databases what we have in the particular timing. So think like here we have VM restored last week. Last week they restored. So if you restored, SQL server is up and running. We are able to connect the SQL server. But the thing is like, what are the data we are seeing? That is seeing 1 week data. That is seeing 1 week data. So that is seeing 1 week data. And VM is crashed. So VM is crashed means then what will happen once the VM is crashed? The VM backup will restore it. So first they will try to bring the server and they will check all the possibilities. If a VM is not coming online, the last minute what they will tell, it's difficult to recover the VM. They said go for plan B, like plan B, like restore the entire VM. So what they will do, they will start restoring the entire VM. So here VM restore it will take based upon the data we have. So if the smaller machine, then we can restore the VM within 2-3 hours. But if the bigger machines like that VM having like a 4 TB, 8 TB disk, then definitely this VM restore uh, will take from 4 to 8 hours. So for this containing the last week setup, we'll get the 4 to 8 hours. Okay. The thing is like people may think like why we need to go for 4 to 8 hours. Okay. Why can't we go for the build the new VM? Okay. Go for new VM from the infra team, then build the new VM, build the new VM. Okay. Once the VM is built, hand over it to the SQL server team, hand over to, let me go for new VM, build, and attach attach same storage, then hand over it to DBA team. Okay, so here building the VM and attaching the disk, it will take only from 1 hour to 4 hours. So what we are thinking? We are thinking like we are going to reduce 4 hours. But if once the end hour, what we can do? DB team will restore the DBs. DB team before restoring, DBA team will install the SQL server and DB team will restore the DBs from the backups. The thing is like the DB team can able to restore the user databases and we can able to restore the uh, DB team will restore all the user database, but DB team will face the problem to restoring the master EMSDB database. So that scenario, DB team what has to do? DB team has to install the same SQL Server version, like including service pack, hotfix, the same building number we have to go. Suppose my SQL Server, this VM is got corrupted, then we Windows team build the VM and they attach a disk. For DB team, what has to do? We have to install the SQL Server 2022 and I have to match these numbers. So these numbers are after 2 letters. What are the numbers? Those are service spec dot fix. That we would have to match. Then only system database will restore. So here we don't know the like previous existing numbers. Then we are not able to restore the master and EMSDB. That scenario, what will happen? We are going to lose the uh, users and logins, because what will happen if you're not able to, like, what is the master database contain? We discussed, right, logins, linked servers and server layer configurations and some other information, right? Those will last. And MSDB, if we are not able to restore, we are going to lose all the jobs and other schedules. So then we will stuck it. That is the one problem. And the other thing is like what are the this VM, what are the VM? We have inbound and outbound rules. Inbound and outbound rules. Why? Because this VM, what are the IP address and what are the port numbers we allowed to the world server. So that also, if you are not maintain the proper document, then sometimes this VM is not able to communicate the other computers and we have a problem. So that is a reason what we can tell, instead of building the new VM and restoring the databases, if the entire VM crash, then we always recommended to go for existing VM backup. Okay, if VM backup is not there, then definitely we have to go for this method. But if VM is backup is there, then if you restore the VM, that will come the existing previous VM. So that will contain inbound and outbound and same SQL Server versions and some other network things. So here that is the reason plan B we are not going to do, but plan B generally what we are going to do, we are going for the on-prem environment, kind of like a DR activity. The DR activity, because already server is up and running, what they will do, they will copy the inbound rules and outbound rules, and they know the SQL Server version, and they install. We can take the backup and restore, and we can test it how long this process is taking to bring up the servers. So here coming to the here, the VM is restored 4 to 8 hours. Then what are the VM restored? That is having 1 week data. That scenario, what will happen? We are going to lose almost 1 week data. Then what we can do from the DB team, what we are going to do, uh, we will start restoration. We will start restoration uh, databases, like a full backup, differential backup, and log backup as a what are the available backups we have. we can restore. So this procedure will take how much? This procedure will take 4 to 8 hours. Depends upon the how many database we have and database is. So total we have a 8 hours, 8 hours, 16. 15, okay, 1 minute, bro. Hello, Shubham. అంతే. Mhm, mhm, mhm. So then no, we have a you are not able to connect with your product account, but you can able to connect with the admin account. Okay, SQL account. Okay. Then, so the thing is like you try to connect with the not tapped in cloud. You can connect with the Prod 01 account. If you have Prod 01 account, you can able to connect because because that will come because some group policy issues. Okay, but you only face the problem. Okay, because we are connecting with the Aptiv cloud, right? That is a problem. So 2 minutes. Prod 001 because our Prod 001 account. If you are not able to connect with the Prod 01 account, then what you can do? I can give the mm, SQL account. Okay. Uh, Prod 02 Okay. Give me 5 minutes. Na? I will connect and I will check for SQL account. The thing is like they have to fix this issue as well. Okay. Sometimes. mm, so yeah, the thing is like which one? It's uh, mhm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, your account is not added. Okay. Uh, so can you give me the go to 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. 5 minutes, guy. Huh? I will. You can stay in the call 5 minutes. Let me stop recording and we can stop here. I have some production outage. Stop recording.